Okay, so let's go into our last thing.
Our last topic is...
Love it.
Oh, God.
I love it. I do this all the time.
Okay. Starting your game in media res.
All right, so this is a literary technique, which we all know Steele the writer loves literary techniques. This is one of my favorite ways to start a story.
Yeah.
In media res.
Which is Latin for in the middle of things.
Yeah. Middle of things, midst of things, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, it's when you start a game right in the middle of action. Okay, move on.
Yep.
So we're going to go through a couple of articles here talking about in media res.
BG, if that's what you're doing, let's jump right in here. You've got a lot to say.
Yes. And we're also going to go over some actual techniques later on. So let's just bring it all out. Let's just bring it out here. What does in media res means? It is in the midst of things, but it essentially is... I love this quote. I'm just going to read it verbatim. Holy crap.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good quote.
So in media res essentially deprives the reader of knowing the situation completely and forces them to rely on the dialogue, flashbacks, and connotations to gather a better understanding of what is going on. So when you create a game that starts in media res, you are dropping them into a scene in which the player has no context of. And you are forcing them through your various storytelling techniques to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
In media res has two functions that I've always felt as a writer are the strongest, especially when related to a game. First off, it immediately puts the player into a feeling of action. Something is happening and I'm going to be invested because I want to know what is happening.
Yeah. And
that then leads to the next thing that in media res does, is it creates a hunger for more.
Yes.
That is there's more, but that is the two things for media res that just, I love using it. How does it work? Okay. So this again is going to be talking about things from a literary standpoint, but you can easily translate this over to game.
Sure.
Easily. So opening narration makes reference to an event that has previously occurred. That's usually what it is. Like, for example, when, doing the beginning, the bombing mission of, actually even better yet, Persona 5. Someone mentioned that.
Yes, yeah.
Persona 5.
Persona
Fantastic
5.
way of doing
That's
it. So, as Joker's running through the casino, they're talking about him stealing the treasure, which is the briefcase. Then the story, the key event that's happening in the present. He's running, he's trying to escape, he gets beaten and captured by the police. There's a traitor. The characters mention an event that has previously occurred. So in doing that opening to Persona 5, you have the people talking to Joker, and there's, Joker's running, you gotta run. They show how to leap from chandelier to chandelier. Then he gets into a fight. You have a very, very brief battle tutorial. And then, once he's captured by the police, that's okay. We haven't gotten that far either, Lunchbox, so I'm not gonna spoil anything. Once he gets captured by the police in the beginning of the game, they're saying you were betrayed.
Yeah.
Those things are hanging over your head for the majority of the game. And then they do the brilliant thing of every now and then the game jumps back to quote unquote the present where he's being interrogated by Sai.
Yeah.
So that is just a fantastic way of starting it. This article is really good. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in here as well into chat. And of course it'll be in our VOD description. It is just a really good article about in media res and how it can be used. And it, again, for books, but you can use it anywhere.
Well, yeah, in gaming, Lunchbox brings it up. You can use it as a tutorial.
You really should.
That's a great place to put your tutorial to do that. Obviously, it's a good hook. Marvel movies, as pointed out by Wrath, do that. So it hooks you in. And it's also a way to generate interest.
It is. By thrusting the reader or player into a situation they do not know anything about, you set the expectations to be twisted, shocked as they continue reading. So the reader is now expecting you to slap them in the face constantly with awesome stuff.
Absolutely.
So that they figure out how it got there. And understand in media res doesn't have to be action oriented. A fantastic example of that is the beginning of the Marvel movie, Captain America: The First Avenger. It starts with them finding the shield frozen in ice. And they're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie is how Captain America got from short little Chris Evans, little tiny Chris Evans, to frozen in ice.
Yeah.
That is an in media res opening, guys. But it's not action-packed.
No, it's not.
An action-packed version of in media res would be like what we're talking about with Persona 5 or the infamous bombing mission of Final Fantasy 7. Those are action-oriented. So don't think that just because you're writing an in media res opening that you have to have an action-oriented opening. You don't have to.
You don't have to.
It just has to provide more questions than answers. It has to drop them in the middle of something and they have to go, what the hell?
Yes.
That's in media res.